Benvenuto! Welcome to Cherry Hill Home Cooking. My name is Mark. Today we're going to make cheesy potatoes. Actually, today we're going to make several dishes that we've enjoyed, during the spring holidays, Easter, Memorial Day, so on and so forth. This is going to be our first one for today. So again, it's called cheesy potatoes, and they are very, very cheesy, believe me. First thing, if you see I got a boo-boo, all right, anybody, if you notice it, I nicked myself shaving this morning, and it just would not stop bleeding. It bled and bled and bled and bled. Anyway, so that's why I got I could probably take it off now, but now I'm afraid it'll hurt taking it off. Anyway, so for our cheesy potatoes, first thing you're going to need is potatoes, because that's the second word. Well, I guess that'd be the first thing you need is cheese. So we'll talk about that. We've got some sharp cheddar cheese. You're going to need about 16 ounces or 4 cups, okay? So then, and you know what? You really can use any kind of cheese you like. We happen to like sharp cheddar in this recipe. That's the way my mom always made it, so that's what we're going to use. Then we need about 4 pounds of russet potatoes. And please do use russet. You don't want to use yellow or Yukon Golds or reds, because those are really starchy, and they're not going to absorb all your nice cheese sauce that we're going to put in it. So I've got exactly 4 pounds that I peeled, of course, cut into bite-sized pieces. All right. And I boiled them. So these are already cooked. The directions for the boiling and everything will be in the full recipe, but just to expedite a little bit of time. Okay. Then we're going to, for our seasoning, we're going to need some chicken bouillon. Whatever your favorite dried, or better than bouillon works well as well too. Adjust it downwards a little bit for the 2 teaspoons, because that tends to be a little bit more salty, so adjust it to your taste. We're going to need salt and pepper, of course. We're going to need half stick of butter, because we're going to do a roux. All right, I already have my half a stick in there. And of course, when we do the roux, we're going to need some flour. So I've got my flour there. We're going to need some whole milk. All right, guys, use whole milk. Again, this is something we don't eat every day, and it does make a big difference if you don't use whole milk. Maybe 2%, but I wouldn't go anything less than that. All right, like I said, the salt and pepper is to taste. I'm probably going to, once we're finished, I'll probably use about a teaspoon of both. And then you need some Corn Flakes, because that's going to go on top and make it all nice and delicious and crunchy. And we need some scallions. All right, I've got 3 scallions just cut into small pieces. Now, the reason I've kind of done a little bit more prep than I usually do is because this recipe starts to go along really fast once you get going. It looks like a lot of ingredients and stuff, but once you actually start doing it, it goes along quick. All right, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to start with this. We're going to start to make our roux. Well, also, you need a 9x13-inch casserole pan. Either spray with cooking spray or lightly butter it. I've got my oven set to 450. So, with all that being said, we're going to just jump into this. One of the first things you want to do is put your bouillon in your water. So there's 2 cups of water in here. And get that nicely mixed up. All right? So we don't need that any longer. I'm going to put my salt and pepper in here as well. I've got kosher salt, so if you're using table salt, use about a half a teaspoon. Of course, I've boiled my potatoes in salted water as well. All right, now I can put that aside. I just want to give it a good little mix. You need put your potatoes in a big bowl. Hopefully that's going to be big enough to get everything going. But all right, so let's put our heat source on. And right now I'm on medium high. I'm going to let my butter warm up a little bit because I had already melted it, so it's cooled down a bit. While we're waiting, we'll have some diet root beer. The birds are coming back in droves, especially we've got the, what's your bird you love so much? The yellow finches are back. Of course, we always have blue jays and cardinals and stuff, but so far the finches have come back. Okay, that's starting to boil again. So I'm going to put my half a cup of flour in there. So what we're doing, guys, is we're making a roux. All right, so we're going to stir that around. And I'm on medium right now. You really just, want to give it a good 30 seconds, a minute. You're basically, you can get it a little bit brown if you want, but our real goal here is to just get that floury taste cooked off. Get out of there. All right, we can also add our milk to our other liquid. Yeah, we can put him over there. I can just start to smell the butter. So that should be a good indication that most of our flour taste is cooked off. All right, I think that's pretty good. So let's give this one more little whisk. And we can turn our heat source up to about medium-high, and then start to add your liquid. All right, and as that starts to heat up, that flour will start to be absorbed in your milk and water, and we're going to make a thick sauce. Put this over here for now. So this is, it's not really a basic roux. A basic roux would be your butter and your flour or whatever you're using, and then what, you could be using stock or, so the roux is the butter and the flour, or the fat and the flour. And that's basically the way you make any kind of gravy or anything like this. I was going to say, we're almost making a bechamel sauce, but bechamel wouldn't have any water in it. It would just be all milk. So, oops. I'm going to turn that up high. And I did mention the sour cream, right? You need some sour cream. But, all right. So that you don't have to stand and watch us bring this to a boil, we'll leave you for a bit and we'll be back shortly. All right, guys, you can see we've come to just about the boil. I'm going to reduce the heat a bit. And I just want you to see how thick and lovely that became. All right, so you want to make it so you want it to be thick enough, it coats the back of the pan, okay? That's going to be hot, but if you do that, it doesn't oh, that's delicious. It stays separated on the back. All right, we're going to actually turn that off. I do want it to get chew, and we're going to put, so again, you can see that is totally smooth, guys. There's no lumps. All right, we're going to put about half of our cheese in. Half of our cheddar cheese. And we're gonna stir that. You might need to put the heat on a little bit, but I don't think so. And we wanna let that melt in there. Yum. I don't even think we need to turn the heat back on, but let's get that till it's pretty smooth. And we're right about there. And then we're going to take our 8 ounces of sour cream and put that in. And give it a stir. And again, until that's all nicely incorporated. So see, once it gets going, this takes no time. The hardest part about this is peeling the potatoes and chopping them up, unless you do your own cheese. Therefore, you would go through the having to shred it. But all right, look at that. Now, I mean, this is absolutely a beautiful cheese sauce. You could put this on just about anything. I'll be right back. And it would be delicious. I mean, you could put that on. You could put it on pasta. You could put it on anything. All right, so we got all of our potatoes in here. And I'm going to, this is why you need a good sized bowl. And you don't have to worry about crushing the rest of your potatoes. You know, you're going to boil them in the recipe for about 10 minutes after, you know, put it on the stove, put the potatoes in a pot of cold water, bring it to boil, and then cook for about 10 minutes. So the idea is our potatoes, we want the potatoes to be tender. We don't necessarily need them to hold their shape, so don't worry about that. Oh, well, make sure everything is nicely coated. Again, I've put my salt and pepper already in here, and that's to taste. You could add a little bit of, this would be an awesome time, or when you mix it in the water, put your Creole seasoning in there if you want, Todd. You could add a little bit of hot sauce or maybe some cayenne pepper if you want to spice it up a bit. Or add some heat to it, I should say, right? My oven has reached temperature a few minutes ago. All right. I think that's good. Now, question is this going to be too hot to hold? So I think I'll get a big spoon. I'll be right back. All right, guys, so we got our pan sprayed or lightly greased with some butter or shortening, if you would. And the only reason I'm doing it this way is because that bowl is hot, and so that I don't burn myself and cry in front of all of you. But you can just pick it up and dump it in. Which now it's annoying me, so I think I'm going to try to do that. There we go. I'll save that spoon for Wade. Then I'm just going to take my spatula, guys. We want all of that out. Look at all that in there. We didn't scrape the bowl. We would have left a good half a cup, 3/4 of a cup of our cheese sauce in there. Oops. Broke the camera. And of course, Wade let me forget one thing, but that's all right. I'm not going to take it out of the pan to do it, but I forgot to add my scallions. But we can just sprinkle them on the top. I should have added those in as we were mixing the potatoes, but then if you don't like scallions, you don't have to put them in. Let's get some over there. All right, guys, then you got the rest of your cheese, probably about 2 cups, maybe either a little bit less or more. Put it on the top. Spread it out. So in total, we got what? We got 8 and 8, 16. So we got 5 cups of cheese in there at all, with the including the sour cream, which I guess that's not really cheese, right? But here, I'm just gonna wipe the edge off so it doesn't burn in the oven. All right, and then our last step, guys, we got our corn chips, or what are these called? Corn Flakes, right? And you want to spread those out all over the top as well. And that calls for about 2 cups. You don't have to crush them. I don't know, some habit-wise, I'm just crushing them in my hand a little bit, but you don't have to do that. All right, so we've got our oven preheated to 450. Rack is in the middle. And this is ready to go in. Now, you want to bake this. Of course, you want everything to get nice and warm through. You want the potatoes to get all the cheese absorbed into them, or a lot of it. So probably 40, 45 minutes, all right? It's 400. Your cornflakes, again, of course, the cheese on the top is going to melt. It's going to be nice and bubbly. And your cornflakes that you put on the top are going to brown slightly. You don't want them burnt. Oop. Turn the oven light. So we got my dirty oven in middle rack. Okay, set a timer for 45 minutes.
Okay, 45 minutes.
All right.
Starting now.
And in 45 minutes, we should have an absolutely delicious cheesy potato casserole. All right, see you then. All right, my cheesy potatoes have been in the oven for about 36, 37 minutes. I checked them and they look brown enough and all nice and bubbly enough for me. So I'm going to take them out so that our cornflakes don't burn. All right, I don't know if you can tell, but that is all bubbly and our cornflakes are nicely browned. All right, now here's the bad news. You should really let that cool down a bit. I'd say a good 10 minutes or so. Otherwise, as you spoon it out, it's just going to be a delicious cheese goo. You can even let this, sit on the counter. This makes a great buffet side because you can eat it warm. It doesn't have to be piping hot. But anyway, all right, so this is going to be part of our supper tonight. See you guys at the next video. Well, I am so glad it's dinner time because we've cooked 3 things today. And I am starving. We got our just really fast. I don't even know what my grandmother called it. Again, imagine that with some olives and banana, some kind of semi-hot pickled pepper or something. We got our cheesy potatoes, which is one of my favorites, and also our pineapple casserole, which is again one of my favorites.
Yep,
so,
and all 3 of them should be in the description.
Yep. Yes.
If you want to link to them.
Oh, okay. You're gonna. Oh, awesome. Yep. All right. So I think we should dig into our salad since it's here in front of us and it smells delicious. This simple, easy.
Wow.
Delicious salad.
It is.
That just brings back memories for me.
This homemade dressing is really good.
Yep, that's delicious. It's just, it's a little bit different than just a jarred one. It takes a minute to put together. It's tangy, a little bit sweet, a little bit garlicky. Anyway.
Really good.
I love it. Okay. Then you go on to next. I'll eat my salad while you decide.
Well, since that's sort of a dessert, we'll start with the potatoes. Yeah.
Well, it's not really dessert.
No?
It's a side dish, but I know it does look like dessert because it's but yeah, I mean, I guess but especially let's put something interesting. What do our subscribers, our followers, our friends? What are your Easter traditions or springtime holiday traditions? I was raised Catholic, so of course, after the awful 40 days of not being able to have pork, there was always a baked ham on our Easter table. Sometimes a lot of times other things too, and all of these, but it was always ham. Your religion, you were raised in didn't really. I mean, they celebrate Easter, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So you guys, did you ever you never did like a big, even before
Easter dinner or something like that? Not really. Not that I remember.
Yeah. So anyway, let us know. All right, let's dig into our cheesy potatoes. Look at how cheesy those are. I'm not sure if I've ever made these for you.
You haven't?
Maybe
I would have remembered. Yeah. Oh, that is delicious.
That is delicious.
Wow, potatoes melt in your mouth and the crunchiness of the
And it's so
Corn
cheesy
Flakes?
and creamy. Remember I told you when you just taste the cream sauce, I said, now, keep in mind that might be a little salty. And it was, but once you get it all mixed together and it gets absorbed into the potatoes, it all just kind of blends together.
that is excellent.
Always one of my favorites. Again, this travels really well. It's not piping hot, but it's warm. It's warmer than room temperature. So, again, another side dish. Oh, so I was saying because you kind of call that a dessert, because yes, it is indeed sweet. But when you think of it, this goes really good, and especially down south. You would typically have the baked ham as well for Easter dinner, even lamb. So this would go really well with baked ham.
Oh, yeah? Right.
Yeah, if you get buttered baked ham, and then this is delicious. So, but it is technically a side dish. One of my faves.
Give it a try. Wow.
Isn't that good?
It's surprisingly good.
Yeah, it's strangely sweet and savory at the same time too. I think that's because of the crackers and the salt. And
I have to admit, couldn't picture cheese and pineapple in the same dish.
but somehow
this is really good.
it goes together. Huh?
That's good.
Oh wow! Now we don't have meat really. Well, we got some protein in our salad as far as meat protein. But, all right, that's all I got to say for the moment.
As I finish up here, these are really 3 great dishes. Hope you guys will try them out.
Please.
Thank you for watching our video. Please remember to like and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one.
Ciao.
Bye.